Welcome back to the IBFP. Here's your host, Boxing Nuke.
Welcome back, fight fans. Welcome back. Let's just dig right into it. Keith "One-Time" Thurman and Errol Spence Jr. are both openly ducking Terence Crawford, and no one is calling them on this bullshit. And now you have to understand that, you know, when boxing was basically started on YouTube, and you had all these different boxing channels, and everyone was saying that, you know, they were going to start this new group called New Media. They were going to report the truth and things factually and unbiasedly. New Media is all bullshit and fake. New Media is so biased, and they're only fanboys. We have to be 100% honest and truthful, and that's why I have to give you this information as we see it, unbiasedly, straight down the middle, and the way it really is. You have to look at it like this. Keith "One-Time" Thurman and Errol Spence Jr. are both openly ducking Terence Crawford, and we know they don't want that fight. This is a direct quote from Errol Spence Jr. He basically states, I don't think me and him are ever going to fight. He mess around and retire, and I'll get that WBC belt. Keith Thurman, he'll stay injured as long as I keep winning. Now, you have to look at it like that. That's a direct quote from Errol Spence Jr. about Keith Thurman. And you're saying, well, how does that make him ducking Terence Crawford? You have to understand that Terence Crawford is a world champion as well. And so your entire focus is on a man who hasn't fought in 2 fucking years. Your focus is it's not Mikey Garcia. You're overlooking Mikey Garcia, but you're focusing on Keith Thurman, and you're focused on a guy who has not fought a fight in 2 fucking years. So you're telling me, Errol Spence, that a fighter like Keith Thurman, who hasn't fought in two years, who's not relevant, and you're starting to think that he's the guy that you absolutely need to fight right away, instead of fighting Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford has a belt. You said directly that Terence Crawford is on the other side of the street, and you're not looking to make that fight. Now, come on. That's open ducking. And, you know, this goes out to all those fanboys who come out and constantly say, you know, the IBFP hates on black boxers, and that can't be true. And I'll tell you why. It's because the IBFP ranks Terence Bud Crawford as the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. The IBFP ranks Anthony Joshua as one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. So you have to understand that those are 2 black fighters. We don't discriminate on anyone based on race. We call it down the middle. And unlike all these fake, biased new media channels who come out and only talk about race and only mention race, we don't do that. We keep it 100% down the line, and we show that we're not unbiased. If you can't handle it, you do not like the truth, because that's all we're going to give you. Errol Spence Jr. wants to fight a Keith Thurman coming off of an injury, and you know why he wants a Keith Thurman coming off of an injury, because he took Kell Brook coming off of an injury. He looks for the weakest opponent to try to grab a belt so he can move on to the next guy. That's his MO. Kell Brook came off a knockout loss and an injury, had no tune-ups, and Errol Spence Jr. wanted him right away. He wants the same thing with Keith Thurman. He wanted him right away with no tune-up, and fake media come out here with this false narrative basically saying, oh, it's new media. Keith Thurman is ducking Errol Spence Jr. You got to give the guy a chance to get a tune-up in before it comes to the point of saying, hey, he's ducking you, because the guy's coming off a 2-year layoff with an injury. Come on. Get the fuck out of here. Errol Spence Jr. wants the easiest opponent. He does not want Terence Crawford, because he knows that that's the type of fight that he could easily lose, because he does not have the skill set of a Terence Bud Crawford. On the reverse end, with Keith "One-Time" Thurman, he's openly ducking Terence Crawford as well. And this is a direct quote from Keith "One-Time" Thurman. I like Terence Crawford. I don't see him as a threat. Jeff Horn, Amir Khan could beat that guy. Let's first address his comment here. Terence Crawford, I don't see him as a threat. Clearly he sees him as a threat. And you know how I know he sees him as a threat? Because he's not fighting Terence Crawford right now. If he saw Terence Crawford as a non-threat, he would easily fight Terence Crawford as a tune-up, go get that belt, and then re-up with any other fighter like a Sean Porter. But he won't do that, because he knows Terence Crawford may fuck around and beat him. And on the second end, where he said Jeff Horn Amir Khan could beat that guy. Amir Khan could outbox 99% of the boxers in the game today. The problem with Amir Khan is he has no fucking chin. So anybody with a decent punch can stop Amir Khan. So that doesn't make a difference. I honestly believe Jeff Horn would maul Amir Khan. Yes, I think Amir Khan could probably box circles around Jeff Horn. But at some point, Jeff Horn's going to connect and stop and drop Amir Khan. It's just really going to be that simple. I mean, Samuel Vargas dropped Amir Khan. Come on. Amir Khan is not a threat to anyone. He's not talked about seriously because he has a paper fucking chin. So let's not bullshit ourselves. Keith Thurman is openly ducking Terence Crawford as well. He also states that I don't respect what he's accomplished at 147 pounds. So you don't respect a guy who basically had 2 fights where he moved up to welterweight and stopped both guys. And both guys were undefeated fighters, and one was a world champion. And he was undisputed at 140 pounds. What is he supposed to do at this point? These are the 2 opponents that he had. So anybody at 147 would have took that opportunity for a world title shot at Jeff Horn. And he also stopped Jose Benavidez, a top rising prospect. Why would you not give him any credit for those victories? He's already unified 140. You don't respect him? That's fine. Fight him. Keith Thurman wants no smoke with the Terence Bud Crawford. He wants someone else to fight Terence Crawford. He's looking for a way to dismiss Terence Crawford so he does not have to fight him. And that's the same thing Errol Spence Jr. is doing. You know, I hear a lot of new media coming out. And see, I'm a boxing fan. I like all platforms. I like PBC, I like DAZN, I like ESPN, I like everything. I like boxing, regardless of where it is, who the promoter is. I like all boxing. I'm not biased like this fake new media bullshit who comes out here and fanboys openly for the PBC. Basically, Al Heyman and the PBC is all that they see. And so it makes you wonder why. So they fanboy for these guys, and you turn around and you see this open ducking, and all these PBC fighters are supposed to be big, bad. They can't fucking, be beat. These guys are strong. They should always be the favorite. They're not getting enough respect. Then why in the fuck is nobody trying to fight Terence Crawford? None of the PBC fighters, Danny Garcia, Errol Spence Jr., Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, no one wants to fight Terence Bud Crawford. So when everybody creates this false narrative that, Errol Spence Jr. is constantly being ducked, he's one ducking Terence Crawford. Everyone else is ducking Terence Crawford. No one wants to smoke. Once again, it's the IBFP giving you unbiased, real, and raw truth. And if you don't like it, that means you're a fucking fraud.